Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's media conference call with Cooper Marody. But before we get started, a little bit of a tease, I guess. I'm going to ask Ryan from the Oilers digital team to play a short video teasing the song that's going to be released tomorrow. Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm here, but I know Earth still has one, 'cause you're not. You wanna see me, and I wanna see you, but you still have some loving left to do.
Hi, Cooper. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it. I just wanted to ask you, what was this process like for you, kind of putting pen to paper and coming up with the music? I can imagine it must have been quite difficult at times, but what was the whole process like for you? And how much do you think about, Colby on a daily basis?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a couple weeks ago, actually, and Emily texted me and said, Colby's wife, Emily, texted me, and she said, "Hey, Cooper, I've been listening to a lot of music, and I haven't really had a song that I really connect to. There hasn't really been a song that really describes the love that Colby and I had, and would it be possible to write a song and create a song that kind of ties in their love and whatnot?" So we texted back and forth a little bit, just describing little things that her and Colby did, little connections they had, and she sent over Colby's vows. And my initial thoughts were, she sent over the video of the vows and the audio. My initial thoughts were, well, this would be pretty cool if we put some audio of Colby's voice within the song. So I had a couple of ideas of a title and a vibe and type of the song that we wanted. And I took it down to Nashville with me for a weekend, and I wrote the song with my buddy Gavin Garris and my buddy Kyle Thomas. And it was amazing because I don't think we've ever really written a song quicker than we did this one, or completed the production quicker than we did this one. I genuinely feel, and all of us did that day in that room, that this was Colby writing through us, Colby singing through us, and this was his message, his love letter, his love song from him to Emily.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, you bet, Andre. And Cooper, we were able to watch some of the song on Instagram, and it sounds fantastic. So thanks for sharing that with us today. I just wanted to ask about about Colby, and I know that you spent some time as teammates with him, and just maybe we've heard a lot about Colby and his leadership qualities and what a quality person he was. I wonder if there's anything you can share with us about your experience with him that, also maybe inspired you through this process a little bit, and what you can tell us about him as a teammate and a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every single day that he walked into the rink, he had a smile on his face. He was upbeat and he was positive, and that's something that really rubbed off not only on me, but everyone around him. I could always count on him for being a great leader. I know personally this year for me, I was going through injuries and was out basically the entire year with stuff. And although I'd go to the rink and do rehab and stuff, and I wasn't involved in the games and whatnot, Colby was always there saying, "Hey man, you got this. You're going to recover. You're going to come back stronger and better than ever." And his character was always amazing, and he put other people first. And I know, we all miss him so much. And although he's not here physically with us, I know with all my heart that his legacy and his memory will continue to live on. And the Colby Cave Memorial Fund is going to help and impact so many people.
Next up, Rod Kurtz from CBC Radio. Go ahead, Rod.
Hi, Colby. Thanks for doing this. I know that Colby was a guy with a real strong faith base to his life. Mm-hmm. Agape, that word agape comes from that. And I'd like you to just tell a little bit about that. You had a chat with him apparently on a road trip in Colorado. And I'd just like you to just talk about that and kind of what that meant to him and just some of those discussions you had on that trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Colby and I were both very spiritual people. We consider ourselves Christian, and it was just me and him one day in Colorado. We showed up to the rink early for the morning skate. We were the first two guys there, and Colby knew I was a spiritual person as well, and he just put on a Christian song in the locker room. And in hockey, it's a lot of, you're all tough, all serious, this and that. And Colby and I had a very, very special moment this year where we just listened to the song, really felt something impactful, and then had a great conversation about faith and whatnot. And it's easy to just be all hyped up and ready for a game, but talking about things on a broader level and a broader spectrum, I think that really brought me and Colby together even more, and we wanted to fight and battle for each other on the ice. And that's something that I told Emily after he passed, and she was so proud of him for that. And to have the courage, to have the outwardness with his faith and to play it in a locker room, that just doesn't happen nowadays. So that just speaks to his character, his heart, and the man that he was.
And we have another question from Ryan Rashog. Ryan, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks, Andre. Cooper, just wondering about the process of writing that and showing it to Emily kind of for the first time. I can imagine that's a pretty, I don't want to say pressure, but I mean, that's an important song you're writing. And maybe were you nervous when you first showed it to her, and what sort of reaction you got from her, and what that dynamic was like when you're presenting something so personal to someone who has been through so much?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think surprisingly, when she first asked me to do it, I just felt this peace within myself that, if it's Colby and as Christian, the faith of the Holy Spirit and God guiding me through this, and I really genuinely felt like just a peace with it. And I knew that I knew that the words would come to us. And talking to my mom after, she's like, "Were you nervous? Or did you have pressure? Because this is a big deal." And I looked back on it and said, "Wow, like this could have gone really well, or it could have gone really, really bad." But when I sent it to Emily for the first time, she was, I know she was crying, and she said something to me that was so impactful. She said, "I could picture Colby saying every one of those words." And that was so special for me to hear. And it made me so happy because I wanted this song to give her peace. And she's the one who asked me to write this song. And it's not about me. If no one else heard this and it just helped her in some way and gave her some kind of peace and remembrance of Colby, and then I would be happy with that. And I didn't have intentions to necessarily release it. I asked her what she wanted to do with it, and she wanted the whole world to hear Colby's love for her and learn about their story and their love. So I'm more than happy to put it out, and hopefully we can raise a lot of money for the Colby Cave Foundation. But for her to say those words, that she could picture him saying every one of those words, was the greatest thing that I could have heard from that.
Cooper, I just wonder about if you've had the chance to show it to any teammates, any other guys, and what reactions have been to the other people that maybe you've had a chance to show this to, who's seen it, maybe other people that knew Colby.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really showed very many people it, but I know Emily sent it to her family and people that are really important in their lives, and she said they're just crying in tears of joy and tears of remembrance. I've showed it to a couple of my friends. I sent it to my parents, and they couldn't stop bawling. And I think it's a really impactful song that I was so happy that it brings Emily some kind of peace and remembrance of Colby. And I'm just hoping that it can do the same for many people who have lost someone or who are mourning and hurting because of Colby passing away. So this song is really special to me, and I've said this a few times. It's the most important song I've ever written in my entire life, and I just hope that it can continue to give Emily comfort and peace, and it can help other people who are mourning.
Adam Cook, go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Cooper, just the fact that you're releasing it on June the 12th. I mean, it's obviously we know why, but the significance of that, maybe just speak to that date and that number.
Yeah. So for some reason that I just had how we got the song done, and we had a couple weeks to put it out, and usually you want to put it out on a Friday or whatnot. And for some reason I'm just like June 12th. And I texted Emily, I'm like, hey, how do you feel about June 12th? And she's like, well, that's Colby's number 12 for Edmonton. Like, that would be amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. So it is coming out on Colby's number 12 that he wore for Edmonton. And I think that's just that's him smiling down on us. And it's a great way to remember and honor him in that way as well. We talk so much about how great of a hockey player he was and how much success he had and his work ethic, but his legacy of just the man he was every single day, his character and his love for not only Emily, but everyone around him is something that we'll remember forever.
Thank you very much, Cooper. And I think that's it for questions. So I want to thank, obviously, Cooper first and foremost for taking part. The song will be released tomorrow, June 12th, as you just mentioned, on basically every music platform that's out there. So thanks to Cooper. Thanks for the media for participating. And yeah, go download that song tomorrow.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it.